on this episode of Design Cut Build. Iggy must be tired of standing because we're going to build some stools. He's up for the challenge. Let's see if I am too. Let's get ready to design, cut, and build. All right, welcome to another edition of Design Cut Build. I'm your host, Aaron Hagar, our man, Iggy.
Hey, guys.
And what do you got for us?
So I've got a couple of stools designed up, two of them. I don't really want to show you right off the bat. I kind of want to explain them as we go.
All right, keep it exciting.
Yeah.
I've got a bunch of leftover car parts, engine parts. Can we maybe throw a third in there with some repurposed stuff?
Yeah, I think that'll give us a real nice back and forth to repurpose and brand new, because I'm going to be cutting mine on a plate. It'd be nice to kind of puzzle something together out of some used car parts.
Yeah, we'll show you a couple options, all right? Sound good? All right, there you go, folks. Let's go build it.
If you remember from last episode where we built the new Torchmate garage sign, we cut most of the parts for this project at the same time. It's just easier to do one big nested job. We pulled most of the cut parameters directly from the FlexScale 125 cut chart, then tailored the speeds to this specific job to maximize cut quality.
After the cut was complete, we headed over to the table to clean the parts. Okay, see all these little burrs and all this stuff from the cutting? We want to clean all that off and give our metal a nice, pretty surface to weld on. I'm not a metallurgy guy. I don't know all the rules, but that's a pretty basic one. Clean going in, clean going out. All right, buddy.
All right, now that we got all of our parts clean, I think we're ready to start.
Take my earplugs out so I can stop yelling.
Oh, okay. Well, let's start off with the easy one. What do you think? That guy.
Howling at the moon.
Howling at the moon.
We got this.
All right.
Our first stool is a simple design with a neat artistic flair. It's just 4 tall trapezoids with a built-in panorama. Perfect for anyone who loves the outdoors.
Go for it.
All right, here's the thing about stools. Your math has to be on point. Otherwise...
Oh. Yep, I broke it.
From the inside?
Yep. Perfect. Man, that is perfect. I don't think we can get any better.
Nice work. With the top all squared away and started working on the seams.
Now you could just do a vertical down.
Yep.
With these.
What if we laid this on the table?
Yeah, you can do that too.
And I did it sideways. Would I go towards me or would I go away from me?
If there's slag, you drag. Okay, so there's no slag, you push.
Okay.
Right, so you push forward with when you're doing MIG welding.
So if I lay this to the side, I'd push forward.
Yep.
Okay. Learn something new every day. I love this stuff. I love welding. I love learning. I love this show. I love this crew. And I love you. That was so lame. Okay.
But sitting in the class over the last 2 days, I get it. I can go back and I can teach it to my students, and I myself understand what I'm doing to make me an effective educator.
All right, with the first stool done, and that was kind of tricky because everything's right angles. This one, I don't know how we're gonna do this one because it's got 3 pieces. It's got a very angled bottom, and then it's got like these other angles in the middle, and then the top. So yeah, it's gonna be a bit interesting. I bet you if you measured it, that would be real close to 90.
All right, tack it. Where's your gun?
It's over there. I bet you that's damn close.
This is off.
Did it drop a little bit?
You're shifted too far this way.
Yeah, it did, huh? Dang it. All right, let's bring it. Iggy's skills as a trainer, spot on. I understand everything he tells me. Don't always remember it, but I understand it at the time. All right, let's measure it up. See how off it is.
25 and 3/8. Woo! 25 and 7/16. We're off by 32nd of an inch.
Wow.
That ain't bad.
All right, Iggy says my tack's held. The base is square, so it's time to move on to the top part.
Now, these got to be very, very close,
Okay,
because the C's on the other ones have to line up on the other side.
gotcha. Oh, look, a tunnel. Nine and a half inches and 11. Oh yeah, we're a bit off.
Yeah, let's break these two tacks right here.
No big deal. Nothing Iggy can't handle. On the bright side, I'm providing some excellent commentary. That's a nice trash can,
Right?
Yeah, a little shallow, but you know, it's good for a half a day's cold. So what's the VO going to be for this? Well, Iggy wrestles with squaring up the base. Aaron sits there and makes tissue jokes.
While Iggy wrestles with squaring up the base, Aaron sits there and makes tissue jokes.
Now you're just making fun of me. So if we made a right angle jig, like just a piece of angle iron, tacked to the table, and set each corner in it and then tacked it, would that have worked?
Yeah, technically, we just have to know the exact proportions of this piece.
We should try that. Make like a little fixture, a little jig. Okay, what's the difference between a fixture and a jig? All right, so the difference between a jig and a fixture is basically if you have... And that's pretty much it. So if you understand that, like I do, then you're a pro. Little jig. So that's a jig. Fixture, jig, fixture. Whew. Right? Whew. Yes, sir.
Well played, sir.
Yes,
Man,
sir.
I should keep Aaron around.
The different parts all welded up, it's time to weld them together in a stack. That is, if we can remember how they all go together. Oh, that's the bottom. And this the... Oh yeah, this is the bottom.
This is the bottom.
And that goes above it. Once we figure it out, we'll let you know. Well, yeah, you start from the bottom.
Yep.
Weld that to that.
Well,
weld
what
this
I'm
to that
thinking-
from the inside.
So
then
how
weld
are
this.
my
then
thing
weld
is
this.
how do we get a drill, right? We're gonna have our seat attached here.
Right.
How are we gonna get a drill to screw it in?
Oh, because we're doing it from the inside.
Why don't we be smart about this and just put a big hole in the center of this piece?
Yeah. Hog it out.
Well, we can cut another one with just a giant circle in it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Work smarter, not harder,
Reach
right?
all the way through. Yeah. No, that's. We took a break welding the second stool and quickly headed over to the Torchmate X to cut the brackets for the seats and the circles to get started on that third stool.
So we just need 8 for the 2 stools. So we'll go.
9 in case I screw it up.
Perfect, we'll do 10.
Run job.
Oh.
Uh-oh. What did we do wrong?
Well, if you look at that hole,
Yeah.
that doesn't look like a 1/4 of an inch, does it?
No. That's more like
that's-
half an inch.
I think that I put in a 1/4 inch radius. If you look in the rectangle with circle hole, it's a radius, not a diameter. So I put a 1/4 of an inch radius,
Which gives us a half inch
which is a
diameter.
half-inch hole. Okay, we worked through that issue and cut the rest of the brackets. Now it's time to bend them to 90 on the finger brake.
Lock them down.
We can then bend this, push this, and we can pull this so we're at about 90 degrees,
Nice.
and then we can go right back down.
I love this old machinery. They're just wincy adorable.
These next ones, let's not bend it to 90. Let's bend under 90.
Okay. And why is that?
Because if this is tilted over, those parts aren't squares like this, they're squares like this.
Yeah.
Right? So that 90 is going to be boop a little bit. So let's go a little under this time.
Okay. Well, it was a good idea in theory, but in practice, it just didn't work out too.
I've had better ideas. Oh well. Okay, so we didn't go far enough with this.
It's easier to kick a 90 back than it is to
Just go in there and take all of them to 90?
Yeah. So it's a little tricky to get a perfect angle on this. So what I just did is I bent them close to 90, line them up, check them out, put them on the table, bang them into place to the angle I need, line them up again, and if it's good, just weld them on. Then Iggy heads to go start on the third stool.
We're just sandblasting the oil and rust off of these parts so we can weld them. Because without getting all this stuff off, it's going to be very difficult. We're going to get a lot of porosity, not good penetration, just won't weld very well.
So I'm a patina guy, and of course it had to be sandblasted to make it all perfect so it welds together properly. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna patina it all over again. Now doing patinas, it's really an art form and quite a process, so we'll cover that on another episode.
This metal's melting a little different.
Is it?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. It's like this is all hardcore race stuff, so I'm sure it's weird alloys and...
You just gotta make sure I add more filler on the top than I do on the bottom.
Let it pull down.
Yeah.
So as you can see, the camshaft, that's the big tall rod, is getting TIG welded directly onto the base plate. You know, I mean, you can do a nice MIG weld, but there's nothing like a beautiful TIG weld. You know? You get those nice little dime stacks, and then you get that bluing that's in there. And for a little flair, we welded the flex plate to the base. You know what? Let's just have Iggy explain it all at the end.
We MIG welded this flywheel. This is a flywheel, right? After that, we took our piston crank arms, thank you. Piston arms, crank arms, whatever you want to call them. Piston arms, and we welded them to the crank. We TIG welded all of this, kind of because we want to make it look nice. And then, yeah, the camshaft. Do you want to do this? You should be doing this.
You're doing this. Great. Keep going.
So, crankshaft, then we took the top of the crank arms. Camshaft.
The crank has larger lobes and it's at the bottom of the engine.
My bad. Camshaft we took to the top of the crank arms, and we would use this for support the seat itself. We have a piece of 3/16 circle that was inside of this gear that we MIG welded to the piece here. We TIG welded the camshaft to the seat up above, and then we put the top of the crank arms on after that.
Oh, Iggy. Well, with the third stool done, we pivot back to the first two stools and put the seats on. By the time we started welding it all together, we were pros. All right, folks, so here you go. They are done, and here are three really interesting and different versions of stools. So we got two from scratch, and we got one repurposed, and I think they're gonna come in real handy. So there you go. So join us again on Design, Cut, Build, and we will see you next time.
To learn more about Lincoln Electric's line of plasma cutting tables, please visit torchmate.com.